All right, time to dive into level 3 graphing. So, what makes things level 3 is there'll be two lines, and you'll have to find the solution to the system. Or you have to prove a point is a solution, or you have to look at a graph and find out, well, what are the solutions? It's a lot of talking about solutions and how it's related to graphs. So this makes it level 3. So, if you're going to solve a system by graphing, to solve a system means to find the x, y numbers that work in both the equations. Well, to do that graphically, you just graph the two lines and you find out where they meet. So I got my first line here. It has a y-intercept of -2 and a slope of -1. Remember, if there's no number in front, it's -1. And you can take any number and put it over 1 like that. So I go to my y-axis and put a point on -2. And then my slope is -1 over 1. All negative slopes go down and to the right. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Or you can go up and left. So I got a whole bunch of points here. And then I can connect it up. Voila, there's my line. Okay, that's my first one. I'm going to switch colors for my second one. Let's do red. Here's my second one. It has a y-intercept of +2. So that's right here. That's this guy. And then my slope here is 3, which means it's 3 over 1, not 3 over 3. Which means it's going to, all positive slopes go up and to the right. And so I'm going to go up 3 and right 1 to get a point. But you can also go down 3, left 1. And I highly recommend that you get as many points as you can because you're trying to find out where these two lines meet up. And when you do that, you're going to find out. So here's my point where these two lines meet up. And I'm going to write the coordinates for that. Remember, it's x first, or horizontal first, and then vertical second. So this point here is left 1 and then down 1 from my origin there. So there we go. There's my solution. It's -1, -1. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. Remember, if it's just x equals a number, then that's going to be a vertical line. So you go where x is -2. There it is. Found it. And now I'm going to draw my vertical line. Voila, like that. And now I'm going to graph my other one. This one here, I got to solve for y first. So let's subtract some 3x, subtract 3x. It was subtract 2y, so we're going to keep the negative on the 2 there. And we got -2 minus 3x. I need to get rid of that -2, so I'm going to divide everything by -2. Divide by -2, divide by -2. And now I got y is 1. And then this one, negative divided by negative is positive. That's why -2 divided by -2 became +1. Now I got +3/2 x. 3 divided by 2 doesn't go evenly, so you just leave it as 3 over 2. We call it a fraction. So I got my y-intercept here of 1. So I put a dot there on my y-axis at 1. And then my slope is 3/2. Remember, positive slopes go up and right. So I'm going to go up 3 and then right 2. Well, let's go the other way, see where we end up. So down 3, left 2, we end up here. That'll be nice because that's where the two lines are going to meet. I got that. Okay, so I'm going to write down the coordinates for this point here. Once again, you have to go horizontal first. So it went left 2, and then it went down 2 from the origin. So this point is at -2, -2. Okay, let's move on to these other ones and get through graphing them. Remember, you have to be good at solving for y and then graphing your two lines to get up to level 3. So my first one, let's subtract some x. This was a -4y, so we're going to leave it. -4y equals 8 minus x. I got to divide everything by -4. And that's going to make y equals -2. And that's going to be +1/4 x. Remember, there's no number in front. It's 1, and 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. So there's my first equation. It has a y-intercept of -2 and a slope of +1/4. So I'm going to go up 1, right 4. And you can also go down 1, left 4. So I got our points there. And we can connect them up like that. I'm going to do a little bit of erasing. It's kind of distracting having all that stuff there. See, up and right, down and left. Okay. So that's my first one. My second one here, let's change this to red. Again, let's subtract some x, subtract some x. Now I got -4y equals 12 minus x. That's pretty similar to our last one. Divide everything by the -4, divide by -4. And now I got y equals -3 plus 1/4 x. So it has the same slope, but a different y-intercept. So I'm going to come here, to my y-intercept of -3, and then my slope of 1/4 is up 1, right 4. You get a point there, and you can also go down and left and get a point, down left, and then I can connect these up. So now we graphed our two lines. We have to find out where they meet, but they're parallel. These lines don't meet anywhere. They're never going to meet. And so what we're going to write is no solution. There is no solution that meets both requirements. It's not on both lines since they don't cross. And so there's no solution. Okay, let's go to our next one. Again, we need to solve for y on this first one. So let's just subtract some x. And now we got -2y equals 6 minus x. This one's divided by -2. And so you got to divide everything by -2. And we got y equals -3. Oh, that's a bad 3. And then, once again, negative x divided by 2 is going to be positive 1/2 x. Right? There's a 1 in front of the x there. And now we're going to graph this line. It has a y-intercept of -3. So I got my y-axis, -3. And then a slope of 1/2. So go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Or you can go down and left, down and left, down and left, down and left. Because we got a whole lot of points here, but that's okay. You can do a few more points. The next one, let's graph this one. Oh, it's already solved for y. Perfect. It has a y-intercept of -3. So we can do here -3. And then a slope of positive 1/2. Okay. So up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Hey, looks like this line is the same as my first one. Which means if we're trying to find out a point that's the same for both lines, all of these points work on both lines. And so we would call that infinitely many solutions. Yep, if they are in fact the same line, then all these points work. Like 0, -3, and at 2, -2, and at 4, -1, and at 6, 0. All of those points work for both the equations. Okay, let's go on to the last two things, and that's dealing with solutions, what they look like graphically and algebraically. So if you're going to prove or disprove a point is a solution, you need to take these numbers and put them in the equation. The first number is the x value, so this goes in the x spot. So we're going to put 2 parentheses, -3. And then the y value, that's the second number, goes on the y spot. You're substituting them in, so you replace x and y with -3 and 5. When you do that, you put them in parentheses. Parentheses matter, especially when you're substituting, which is, we do that regularly. Okay, so now we're going to simplify. The right side is just going to stay -10. But the left side, see, 2 times -3 is -6. And then we need -5. -6 minus 5 is -11. And you have to decide, does that equal -10? And the answer is no. So we're going to say not a solution. It's not a solution because when you put it in the equation does not come out to be true. I know when your test it asks you, why is it a solution? Or explain your work. You just need to say, when you plug in the numbers and simplify, the equation is not true. And that would mean it's not a solution. Okay, let's go to 6. Identify solutions to the system. Remember, solutions graphically are where the two lines meet up. So we got this line and we got this curve thing. Well, it's meeting at these 4 points. And so your job is to write down what the points are. So start with this one. That's at -3, -4. So I'm going to list them here. -3, -4. And then I got this one here. Oh no, it's between two numbers. That's okay. Just do approximation. So it's looking like I need to go left. Oh, it's -1.75. Maybe -1.8, something like that. But it is on -4 there, so we'll put -4 still. All right, let's move on to this one. Hey, that one's also between two lines. Let's go ahead and put the x value of just the positive version of it. And then the y-intercept there is also -4. And then we got this last point here, which is at 3, -4. So I'm going to put that 3, -4. So those are the solutions to the point. So there you go. That is level 3 for graphing.